You're now kicking it with Brother Smalls, the show that delivers content dedicated and designed to inform, uplift, elevate, and inspire. Share, like, comment, and subscribe. We're here at the Hollywood Palms in Naperville, Illinois, right outside of Chicago, thanks to our show host. I also want to thank Steve and Nina McClain for their generous gift. I'm here with no other than the Rooftop pastor, Corey Brooks. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, Brother Smalls. Thank you for having me on your show. I greatly appreciate it.
Yes, before we get started, I just want to say congratulations on 24 years of ministry.
Absolutely. 24 years of ministry, and we're celebrating all month long. It's been a great experience, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
Got it, got it, got it. And so those ebbs and flows, were there times where you just wanted to throw in the towel?
Oh, man. A lot of times, especially when you trying to help brothers transform their lives, and then something happens where they end up getting in trouble, going to jail, or perhaps even more negatively getting killed or committing a crime. Those times, they can be some disappointing times and very trying times, and they test your faith for sure. So there have definitely been times I wanted to throw in the towel and wish I didn't have this assignment, but God has been faithful through it all.
Got it. Who do you reach out to? And when did you get the call to the ministry?
Wow. So I knew I was called to preach at age 14.
Wow.
However, I did not like preachers and I did not want to be a preacher. I did everything I could to fight being a preacher.
Why did you like preachers?
I just thought they were kind of fake,
Mm,
I just had a bad representation, I just had bad models before me.
got it.
Um and I just didn't like the whole idea of even then seeming like pastors were prospering and their members were not. And I had trouble with that as a young age. Pastor driving a Cadillac and everybody else in the church ain't even got a car.
Yeah, that's right.
So I had problems working through that. So between the ages of 14 and 18, I really just was in the sports, kicking it, doing what I wanted to do, and trying to ignore the calling as best as possible. But in 19, I finally surrendered to my calling my freshman year of college at Ball State University. And I started trying to do what God had called me to do. And from there, it's just been progression.
Was it a moment? Was there a situation? Did something happen that kind of sparked? Okay, now it's time.
Yeah, some family issues, some friends issues. I was in a little small town called Muncie, Indiana, and we didn't experience a lot of gun violence and things of that sort. But now looking back, I see that God was preparing me even then by using certain situations and certain circumstances to prepare me for now. In Muncie growing up, we didn't experience a lot of gun violence, wasn't a lot of shootings. But my best friend that I grew up with since I was in fifth grade, like a brother, his name was Rail. His real name was Terrell, but we called him Rail. Was shot and killed, and that kind of shook me. And I think looking back, I know for a fact that God used that to plant a seed in my heart toward people who have violent crimes committed to them.
Wow, 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 wow. I had a thought. I mean, the church is 24 years old, right?
Mhm.
And Project Hood is 12 years,
Correct.
right? Did Project Hood come out of, your ministry? How did that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're in a neighborhood called Woodlawn. On our block is called O Block, named after a young man named O.D. Perry who was shot and killed. The gangs took the O in his name and started calling it O Block. It's that block where our church is located. That same block in 2014, the Chicago Sun-Times said that it was the most violent neighborhood in all of Chicago. So it's in that neighborhood where we have been experiencing a lot of violence, a lot of shootings, a lot of gangs. And so as I was looking at the solutions and what we could do, I started realizing that everybody doesn't want to help a church to solve the issues. So I said, okay, we're going to create a non-for-profit, a community development arm of our church. It's going to be our missions of our church. And for those who are not interested in helping the church, okay, we have this non-for-profit. that's really focused on helping people achieve the American dream, and so they can help in that endeavor. But from a church perspective, that is our missions, our local mission. So we ask all of our members to volunteer, to serve, and treat it just like a missions.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, and it's interesting because, you mentioned that early on you saw, maybe pastors prospering and not the congregation
Mm,
prospering. And the one thing I look at Project Hood and I look at the programs that you're facilitating,
mm,
it's all about empowering the people
yeah,
to make the change.
absolutely. Everything that I try to do or lead, whether it's our church or whether it's our non for profit, it's all about helping people to come to the realization that they can be self-sustaining with the help of God, that they can take care of themselves, that they can live without government assistance, that
Right,
they can
right.
move forward in life, and they can they can live the American dream. So I'm all about trying to infuse people with faith, infuse people to fight and challenge the status quo, and to go against the culture and go against the grain.
Yeah.
And so that's what we try to do. And I think I believe God has gifted us to do that. That's our vein.
No, I was there was a thought that came to mind. I was watching a documentary called "We Feed People."
Hmm.
Powerful
Love that name.
organization. Yeah, We Feed People. I believe it's Jose Andres, cook who goes around the world disasters and they really kind of meet the need regarding food.
Hmm.
Right? We got to eat.
Yeah.
So in the movie, he says charity seems about the redemption of the giver,
Hmm.
and it should be also about the liberation of the receiver.
Oh, for sure. Wow.
You believe that?
Oh man, without a doubt, I think charity and giving and sowing is therapeutic for the giver and the receiver. I think that both parties, when done right, when done in love and received in love, that it helps both people tremendously.
Right.
And it's not just about giving so that you get the help, but it's also about that person who is receiving, that they also receive it in love, and that it does something to them as well.
Right. It maintains their dignity as well, right?
It's all about the dignity. It's all about people having dignity. It's all about not making them feel less than
That's
because
right.
they may not have,
Right.
but it's about bringing people up and helping them to see that you may be in this state right now,
Yeah.
but with a little help and a little assistance and some prayer and some hard work,
That's right.
you can raise to the next level. And then when you get to that next level, it should be expected of you to turn right back around and do the same thing that was done for you.
No, that's real good. The word respect.
Hmm.
You're respecting, even if you're serving people plates for Thanksgiving or what have
Mhm.
you, there's a respect there.
For sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Respect is a big word. Everybody wants acceptance. Everybody wants affirmation. And part of respecting people, I believe, is showing them the acceptance and the affirmation and the attention that they need. And respect goes a long way. And when people know that you respect them, regardless of what state of affairs they're in their life, I believe it encourages them to hopefully to be the very best that they can be, or at least try to get up out of their condition.
Right. And they can feel that.
Oh man, they feel it.
We
Absolutely.
feel it, right?
Just like you can feel when somebody is disrespecting
That's
you, you can feel it when somebody respects you and
That's
honors
right.
you and loves you.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. Wow. That's a huge key. I learned about you and the ministry several years ago
Mhm.
with the documentary, I believe, by Tiffany and Dima Salaveros called Chicago,
Yes.
America's Hidden War.
Hmm.
And I learned so many great things about what you're doing. One of the things that, uh, was notable, and there's there are a lot of things. You host the largest baby shower in the world. Can you talk about
Absolutely.
that?
So we host that baby shower because 80% of the households in our neighborhood are single parent households. So we started looking at how can we bless and best help those individuals who find themselves in those predicaments, and how can we get to their children an empathy. Well, the best way to do that is look into this 80%. and be a blessing to them. So we decided to start having the world's largest baby shower, where we just try to make sure that one, they got all the spiritual needs that they need, all the medical needs that they may have a need of, and then just coming alongside and assisting them with common things like baby chairs, car seats, Pampers, clothes, all of that stuff, just to help alleviate a little of the burden, but also to show them what we were just talking about, some respect. Um, so many people, you know, I talk about single parent households a lot, but one of the things that I don't want to happen is that people begin to feel negative or feel like they're being left out because we're talking about them. I want them to know, no, we respect you, we love you, we honor you, and we want to come alongside and assist you with your child immediately.
Right.
Yeah,
It's not a stigma, right?
definitely.
It's
Yeah,
not a
it's not
stigma.
stick.
This is where you're currently at,
Yes,
you know, and we see you where you're at.
yes,
It's like the Lord. The Lord kind of addresses you
absolutely.
exactly where you are.
Right, and then brings you
It
along.
brings you.
That's the sanctification process.
That's
We
right.
try to we try to make people sanctified from the very start, but it
Right,
doesn't
right,
work
right.
like that.
I got to clean
It's a
up first.
yeah, yeah. We got it's a process.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Oh, that's good stuff. Um, you talked about, you know, Chicago and the need here, and you know, there's a phrase that says desperate times
Mm,
calls for desperate measures.
yes.
And you've been in the news for a while for taking, you know, a desperate measure,
Hmm.
spending almost a year
Hmm.
on a rooftop in Chicago.
Yes.
I, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know, like I said, 2014, the Chicago Sun-Times was saying our neighborhood was the most deadly neighborhood in the city of Chicago, making it perhaps one of the most deadly in America. And we decided we're in a bad situation. We're in a desperate situation, and no one is coming to save us. No one is coming to throw out the life raft and say, "Hey, get on board. We're gonna rescue y'all from
Right,
this."
right.
So desperate measures have to be have to come into play. We have to make sure that we do everything we can legally to make sure that we change the neighborhood. And so we've been working really hard with transformation, working really hard with making sure that everyone knows about the state of affairs in our neighborhood and what we're trying to accomplish and the solutions that we believe that are important to change and transform the neighborhood around. But we go hard at it. And as you know, that's one of the reasons why I spend so much time on the roof, because I wanted to make people aware of it and I wanted to make sure that we build this center. And so uh, I was desperate. And when you get desperate, you'll do whatever it takes.
No, that's amazing that you did that. And what did you learn on the rooftop?
Mm. I learned a lot. I learned that people want help. We take for granted sometimes just thinking that some of these brothers specifically who are out in the streets that they just want to be in gangs. They just want to shoot at each other. They just want to kill. They just want to rob. They just want to steal. They just want to sell drugs. But I discovered that a lot of brothers, if you come alongside of them and assist them, they want to change. They just have not had anybody believe in them, and they definitely have not had anybody provide them the opportunities. So if you believe in them, provide them the opportunities,
Mhm.
hopefully give them some mentors and things of that sort, they'll come up out of it. So I've learned the resiliency
Yeah.
of people who have been broken and people who have been without hope. That if you infuse just a little bit, they'll catch it, and that's what we try to do.
Instill hope, instill light, instill
Yes,
love.
yes.
No, that's definitely what you guys do. I wanted to talk about you made a decision several years ago.
Hmm.
You made a decision several years ago to share, uh, you know, that you were a conservative
Hmm.
Republican.
Yeah.
Talk to us about, you know, that process and what transpired.
So I've been a Republican since I was 19. My undergraduate degree is in political science. However, I never talked about politics or dealt with politics um, from the church perspective. I started pastoring my first church at 22, and I didn't. I just kept my political belief secret. and I preached the gospel. And I came from a school, Dallas Theological, where they basically taught, hey, preach the gospel, don't be talking about no politics. And so that I was straight evangelical, you know.
Yes, sir.
And there came a time when I was pastoring in Chicago that my traditional upbringing was not matching what I was seeing. And so I decided that something needed to be said as it relates to politically, that in Chicago, they had been voting 90%, 95% Democrat all of these years since the 60s, and our neighborhoods keep getting worse. And so I decided I was going to start being vocal about my conservative values and my conservative viewpoints,
Yeah.
and telling people, hey, you need to look at doing something different. This is not working. We're being taken advantage of. And so I decided to speak out. And when I did not think that I would get such a harsh experience from the
Wow.
brothers and the sisters.
Yeah.
But it was a very tough experience. It's one of those experiences that you said, have you ever wanted to throw in the towel? It was one of those experiences where I was like, you know what? I just wanted to go back to Texas, to go live in Texas somewhere where I could be conservative and it's all right.
Yeah.
But I worked through it, and hopefully a lot of people are responding.
Got it. During that process, you learned who was for you
Hmm,
and who was against you.
man, brother. Yes. You know, it's a bitter pill to swallow. It's tough when you think everybody loves you and everybody is with you. And
Mm.
our church was booming. We had about 2,500 members. Everybody was excited. You know, we were going strong, doing well. And as soon as I started saying I was conservative, I was Republican, boom, we lost half our congregation. So 75% of our budget was gone. And I went through a real depressing time because I thought these were people who were with me, that rock with me, that love me. And but I found out that just because of my political beliefs, they had a change of mind, and that did something to me.
That's tough. And I think on a whole nother level, if you're being fed spiritually, if the ministry is working for you and
Yeah.
your family and the
Yeah.
community, and the gospel is being preached, to shift your allegiance to that
Hmm.
and to the gospel
Yeah.
because of a political
Yeah.
affiliation,
Yeah.
that's saying something about the condition of your heart.
Right. And mind you, I've been preaching the same style, the same type of word
Sure.
for the duration of my passion.
Yeah,
It wasn't
yeah,
like I
yeah.
just woke up one day
Yeah.
and said, you know what, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna preach a Republican sermon. I'm gonna preach a conservative sermon. No, I've been preaching this same message
That's right.
for years.
Yep.
It was just once I said I am a Republican, it was like I cussed everybody out. So, you know, it was real tough to deal with.
It's tough, and because again, through this last even political cycle, you had friends, family members not talking to each other
Yes.
because they don't agree.
Yeah.
You know, one agrees in this platform, the other agrees in that platform.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that?
Man, I have pastors that I highly respect. Um, text me, email me, say things like, man, we think you hurting our community by speaking and saying certain things. We think that what you're doing is totally aligned differently than how it should be in our community. And these are pastors that, man, I respect them. And
Mhm.
for them to tell me they felt like I'm hurting the community when
Yeah.
I do so much to help, and that was very hurtful. But you're right, that people have lost friendships. I was just looking at on Twitter, and I saw this young man in a classroom. I believe he's in Hammond, Indiana, and he's getting a lot of exposure, as he should.
Yeah.
And he was talking about his political views, and he was debating the whole class. He was the only black brother who was talking conservative views,
Yeah.
and he was challenging the teacher because the teacher said, he was not going to be friends anymore with one of his friends because he voted for Trump. And this young brother, the student, challenged this teacher on that.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, that's what's going on all across the country.
Yeah.
People's relationships are falling apart just because they have a different political view.
And actually, what I found is that folks don't even have the patience to hear your perspective,
Really.
to even hear your perspective. If it's different from their perspective, you're this or you're that.
Yeah.
And one of the things I said is that once people start to say, if you vote a certain way, you're not a Christian, that's
Yeah.
way above your pay grade.
Man, that's way above.
Way above your
Way
pay grade.
above. And you know, but it's being done.
Yes, it is.
And people are saying awful things like that. And it's unfortunate because we live in a society where we should be able to debate, but so many people are emotional that they forget all about the facts. But I tell them, look, I'm just going to deal with the facts. Here are the facts. Now you can take it, but I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to debate you,
Yeah.
but we can simply have a discussion, and I'm just going to give you facts.
Sure. I mean, as a parent, one of my things, I have a charge to raise my children in the reverence and respect of the Most High
Absolutely.
God. Anytime anyone,
Yeah.
whether it be government, organization, what have you, tries to usurp that authority,
Yeah.
I have a problem with it.
Absolutely. And we're living in a day and a time where all around us, people are trying to usurp the authority of parents. And parents have to become even more vocal and more bold in taking a stand, especially with their children, to say, listen, as for me and my house,
Come on.
we're going to serve the Lord. For me and my house, you can't cross this line.
Right.
And I think when we do that more often, we're going to see our communities be better, our families are going to become better, and it's going to be better for America in general. But we got to have families and men of God, especially, to stand up.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Hey, Pastor, you gave the closing prayer at the Republican National Convention. It was great to see you on that platform.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. How was that experience?
It was good. It was twofold,
Okay.
but it was good. One, being asked to do it was a blessing. It means that someone recognized the work that we're doing, and as a result of the work we're doing, they open up a door for us.
Yeah.
So we really appreciated it. On the back end, however, you still have individuals who, man, you at the Republican convention, have a problem with that. But that's the type of thing that comes with living on the south side of Chicago. But for the most part, it was a great experience.
No, let's kind of play that out.
Okay.
Real quick. Now, okay, Jesus is coming, or all right, and he's gonna touch somebody.
Right.
Right. All right, he's a Democrat. Touch him, bless him, Lord. He's a Republican. No, we don't want you to.
Right.
We don't want you to pray
Don't
over
bless
there.
them.
Don't bless them, right?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
It makes no sense. We just fed about 5,000 people for Thanksgiving, and I had a lady tell me, I guess that Republican money came in, or you're a Republican. Now, mind you, she's in line to get a turkey. So I told her, yeah, you're right. These Republican turkeys, but you more than welcome to have one if that's what you want to believe. People are so, are so immature when it comes to the knowledge that they need to have as it relates to political beliefs.
Sure, and it's a ploy of the enemy because
Sure, brother.
to divide and conquer, steal, kill, and destroy. Right.
Yes.
So if I'm fighting with my brother or sister because of they like this or that, and we're not focused on the issues,
Exactly.
then I can rob and pillage and do what I need to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we see that all the time.
All the time. When I told my pastor, Kevin Barber Sr. of Wellspring Church International, I told him that I was going to be interviewing you. I asked him, hey, Pastor, you want me to ask a question for you? And he didn't give me a question, but he made a statement. I want to read it.
Okay.
He says, it's refreshing to hear someone say the quiet part out loud. There are others like us that are unapologetically speaking truth. It's needed, and I'm encouraged to see him creating solutions, stepping into a massive vision to bring change for generations to come.
Man, that's a blessed statement and powerful, because we do need to have more people speaking out, and we do need to take a stand. And it becomes a lot easier when you have pastors like your pastor who encourage you, man, go on and do it, go on and speak out, because you have so many forces that are trying to hold you back and keep you from and keep the status quo.
Mhm.
So to have brothers and sisters to encourage you to be the best you can be
Yeah.
in your conservative mindset is a great thing. So yeah, that's a great quote.
Okay, so let's talk about that massive
Okay.
vision.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about that massive vision and the construction of the new community center.
Yeah. So we're building a 90,000 square foot community center on this block called O Block. It's upward of $45 million. We still need to raise about 5 million more so that we can build it debt free. Our goal is to build this fantastic facility debt free so that we're not uh, weighted down with the burden of debt, and we can continue to focus on all of the programs that are going to be in the building. Programs like we have 3 restaurants where we're going to be teaching culinary arts and hospitality. We have a health and wellness facility that we're partnering with Floyd Mayweather. We have a well now urgent health care facility where
Wow.
people can come in and get 24-hour health care. We have a violence prevention office where we're dealing with trauma and conflict resolution and mediations. We have a full scale bank called the Southside Bank, sponsored by Wintrust. We're really excited about that because it's going to open up some financial avenues for a lot of people. We have an entrepreneurial school where we're teaching people how to start businesses, a swimming pool that all the kids in the neighborhood are excited about.
Sure.
We also have on our back wing on the first floor a construction school where we're teaching carpentry, electrical, plumbing, and automotive and welding. Above that, we have 2 full court gyms, a golf simulation room, a music studio, a dance studio, a TV studio, and a state of the art theater that seats 350 people, and a rooftop experience like none other that gives you a direct view from the south side to see downtown Chicago. So that's just some of
Wow.
the stuff.
That's just
Yeah, that's the massive stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't you excited, America? Be a part of this. Be
Yeah,
a part of
absolutely.
this. Um, Project Hood started 12 years ago.
Hmm.
Did you see Project Hood um, then
Mm.
as it is currently?
Yeah, I've had a vision for and HOOD stands for helping others obtain destiny.
Yes.
And when we planted New Beginnings Church, I always thought that we'll have 3 components of our church. One, the organism of the church itself.
Mm.
Then secondly, a school. It's our goal to have a school specifically targeted toward boys who come from single parent households who live below the poverty line from kindergarten to 8th grade. So we want a school. And then the third component was our missions effort, which is our Project Hood arm. So my goal has always been to plant those 3 things in other cities. So whenever we plant a church, we want that church to have a school. We want that church to have a non-for-profit as well. And we want to do that whether it's in Houston or Dallas or St. Louis or Baltimore or New Orleans, all of these other places. Right now, though, we're creating a model for what we believe can happen. And so, yeah, I've had a vision for Project Hood, and we're just now scratching the surface.
Oh, that sounds exciting. That sounds really, really exciting. Um, when you go to projecthood.org, you learn about all the things that you're doing, and obviously, you're visionary. And but talk to us about the people that help your team.
Yeah. We have a crazy, ridiculous team, a talented team of individuals. I believe that everything rises and falls on leadership. So go the leaders, so go your organization. If you want to have a great organization, you got to have some great leaders. And so I've been blessed to have individuals around who are skilled and talented and who have the abilities to get the job done. And so a lot of the things that we do, a lot of the programs that we have, they're not even a result of me. I may have a vision for it, but it's a result of having individuals on our team that can take it and run with it. And so, whether it's the building of the building, overseeing the staff, or all the programs, we've gone from 3 employees when we first started Project Hood to now over 80 employees.
Wow.
So, that team is the one that's building everything out and making it happen.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. How can people be a part of what you're doing with Project Hood and the city of Chicago?
So they can go to projecthood.org, and they can find out how they can give their time, their talent, and their treasure to the work that we're committed to doing. And they can find out all the wonderful programs that we're presently working on and all the things that we have coming up in the future.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I think I may have asked this before, but I want to make sure that we cover this. Sometimes teachers learn from their students.
Mm.
What have you learned from the people that you serve?
Be humble. That's one that regardless of how blessed we are, we're still in a position where we got to help as many people as we can, and we cannot afford to be arrogant. We cannot afford to not be relentless. We have to be humble. We have to continue to fight and be relentless and be truthful with people. And I think I've learned that from being in the environment, especially being around. People talk about guys in gangs, but one thing you'll learn about them is that they have a lot of loyalty and they have a lot of that fight. They are relentless. And if you could just harness that and focus it in the right direction. So I've learned a lot of loyalty. I've learned how to be relentless, and I got a lot of fight in me. I tell people, you know, you can't pastor on the south side of Chicago and not have a little hood in you. So I got a little hood in good hood.
That's good. That's it. That's it. Do you ever think about your legacy?
Mm. The older I get, I do. Um, there used to be a time when I was just ministry, 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 work, work, work.
Mhm.
But now as I get older, I think about legacy and I think about what I want my church to be when I'm gone. What do I want Project Hood to be when I'm gone? I want to make sure that I have something in place that continues to help a lot of people. And I think that's so important.
Wow. Wow. Well, Pastor, you've blessed us, and I'm so glad that more people are learning about the work that you're doing with
Yeah.
Project Hood. Is there anything else you would like to share with our audience?
No, just if you're ever in Chicago, surrounding areas, come visit our location. We love to give tours. We love to show everybody what we're doing, and it gives you an opportunity to come and see the truth in the pudding. So that it's real, that it exists, and that we are helping a lot of people. So if you're ever in Chicago, please take some time and look us up.
Wow, Pastor, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. I appreciate it.
Yes, yes, sir. You guys sign up, subscribe to Kicking It with Brother Small, the show that delivers content that dedicated and designed to inform, uplift, elevate, and inspire. I also want to thank again our show host, the Hollywood Palms Cinema in Naperville, Illinois. I also want to thank Nina and Steve McLean for their generous gift. I have one more thing for you to do. Smile. Smile and remember, every heartbeat is grace. Cherish life and spread love, y'all. Peace.
Peace.